disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
We just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lorito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Voodoo magic man.
All right. Oh, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad, that's right, sure am glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. We've got the always popular comparative analysis show that we're going to be doing here, where we compare and contrast both both fighters' skills, attributes, power, whatever. And we try to get down to the nitty-gritty and decide who is a superior power puncher, who has a superior hand speed, and so on and so forth. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Link in the description below. You're also welcome to join the Patreon page for free, or you can donate as little as you want. Well, you still get free stuff over there, so make sure to sign up to our BDA Patreon page. Link also in the description. Don't forget you can check us out on Spotify and iTunes at your leisure. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you yet to do so already. And let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about the Parkour, World Boxing Nomad, JumpTube, Reverend Pickles, Jacques Cousteau, World Box, Trooper 5131, Straight Right Hand, Alfredo Contreras, Brian Montes, Impala #CCD, Mark T, Hard Recoil, Rapback Striking Company, 10-4, who says VMC. VMC, all right. Who else we got here? Anthony Lopez, 2 Matador, Virtuoso, JumpTube, Skull Kid 25, Quick Sloth, Handful of Boxing Review, Double L, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Oh, yes, Jacques Cousteau and Manos de Dinamita, round 1. Shout out to you guys. All right, let's get to the always popular comparative analysis. This is always popular and controversial, because there's always some disagreement about, well, no, he has the big right hand, or this dude has it. So we're going to try to delineate a path here for people, a proper demarcation of who is the superior power puncher, who has superior footwork, and that's about it. By the way, I can't stress that enough. Buy me a coffee. Remember, guys, we're demonetized, so you can't send super chats anymore. So if you want to contribute just a little bit, it doesn't have to be anything big. You can donate your shekels, which go to the good cause to fight the coming religious holy battle that will be taking place. And we need the funds for the Crimson Inquisition that will be taking place in about 50 years. Perhaps even less. Some people say 2030. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's give a shout out, like I said, to everybody in the chat. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. We're still going to be taking predictions. So if you guys want to give your predictions, I'll look into the chat here every once in a while. I'll take a couple of pauses and I'll write down your predictions. Might be opening up the phone lines too. Now, I see we got Bucho and Sobers here. Guys, what I want to do is try to get through this in less than an hour. I think we can do that because I do want to talk about the weigh-in, the press conference, final thoughts on the fight, and we'll call it a night. Although there will be more BDA tomorrow, I believe we're going to be doing a countdown show. Since we're not doing an open lines Friday, we will be doing open lines Saturday afternoon. Why not? So make sure to stay tuned for that. All right. Sobers and Bucho, can you guys see the screen I'm sharing here?
Yep, I see the YouTube screen.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. That's exactly what we want to hear. You say you see it. That's what I want to hear. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. Well, let's get right on to it because we got a lot to get to here. As always, we've got 2 pages. This is the first page. Now, I want to reiterate because people sort of get up in arms about this, which is good. But I just want to reiterate that just because one guy gets the nod in a category doesn't mean that the other guy's, let's say, precision sucks. It just so happens sometimes it comes down to the wire and it's 50-50, but we got to give it to one guy. Although I will say that right off the bat, giving some of these attributes to Morrell is kind of difficult because he's fought nobody, really. His best opponent is Kalashnik, the Serbian Cholo. So it's kind of difficult to figure this out. But like I said, we're going to be offering up a demarcation of the facts here, a complete rundown, inside scoop, the dossier on both fighters. So let's start with precision. And by that, we mean accuracy. Who is the more accurate puncher or offensive fighter in this case?
Well, for me, that's David Benavidez.
Definitely. Volume puncher. It's Benavidez. No doubts about it.
Yeah, with that was like a 8-9 upper hook knockout that he did on Porky Medina. You know what I mean? That was pretty precise.
Oh yeah, the fucking brutality.
Yeah, the brutality. Yeah,
no, it's pretty badass, man. Yeah.
Now, some people could
argue. I don't think anybody's gonna disagree.
Well, some people could argue that, like, who else has he been accurate against?
Well.
Oh wait, you said offensive. What are we doing? Precision.
Precision.
No, he's still him. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to be precise to land all those little shots and to really hurt his opponents. You know what I mean? Like, he can't land one punch and hurt you. He has to land like a bunch, and that's, you know, he has to be precise with those shots, or they're not gonna have any effect. That's how I see it.
Right.
I think I see Morrell as like a one punch, you know, hit it, quit it kind of guy. He'll hurt you with a couple hard shots, and David has to hit you a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, Morrell's never really fought anybody. So, and then when he fought Kalashnik, he didn't look all that accurate. Despite what the commenters were saying early on. It's like, oh, this guy looks great. It's like, he wasn't looking all that great. He was missing a lot. So we're going to give the edge to Benavidez right there. All right, who has the superior jab?
I think I hate David Benavidez's jab. So just by that, I think David Morrell uses a little bit more to set up his punches. So I'll give that edge, to Morrell.
Benavidez doesn't have a bad jab. It's pretty accurate, but I guess I'll go with the Cuban jab, just because he's Cuban.
Okay, that makes no sense.
You don't gotta agree with me,
I know. Usually Cubans have like good fundamentals and shit when it comes to like boxing and jab and all of that. But I don't know. Hey, can we give it a draw?
No. I don't think we've ever done that. Have we ever done that? Do you guys remember?
I think so. I think you guys did it once.
I don't know. I try to refrain from tying these categories. Usually we gotta announce a winner.
The only time I can remember there being a draw was when they asked who's more hood, Spence or Crawford. And
come on. I don't remember that either, man. But it sounds like you're making things up. Let's see what people in the chat are saying. Lalo Soto 13 Gaming, shout out to him, says Morrell. Handful Boxing says he has to go with Morrell. He says, I have to go with Benavidez. He's more active and stiff with his jab. Morrell mostly paws and probes with his jab. Mark T says Benavidez' right cross when he switches feet was his money punch versus Andrade. Quinn Lester says the retard is here. I don't know who he's referring to. I think he's referring to me. Hopefully not. Chet Collins says, I got Benavidez on points. Alejandro Solis says, aquí no hay miedo, papi, says the scared Morrell. Oh, is that what he said? Handful of Boxing says, jab is pretty nuanced category. Depends on which types of jabs you prefer. I prefer a stiff, active jab. I will say this, man. If you watch the, the Gvozdyk fight, middle rounds, Benavidez was actually outlanding Gvozdyk with that jab. Well, I don't know if he outlanded him. I have to check the compy box, but he was landing that good long jab. So I've never seen Morrell, and usually southpaws are notorious for not really firing off that jab a lot against orthodox fighters. So again, I think I will give the edge to Benavidez here. Although Bucho does make a good point that in terms of power, Morrell seems to have more of a power jab. Although again, when we're talking about jab here, we're not just talking about how often the guy throws it. We're not just talking about accuracy. We're talking about everything. Power, technique. Does he telegraph it? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking here. But we'll give it to Benavidez. We'll give the edge to Benavidez.
Next.
Bray says BDA really emphasized stiff. Well, because it's if you know anything about how if you know about how you public speaking, know that you got to emphasize certain words, especially the ones that got the S. Stiff, sexual, sordid, that type of stuff. Anyway, next category: rear hand. Rear hand. Now, obviously, we're talking power hand. So when it comes to rear hand, we're talking about Benavidez's right, and in Morrell's case, since he's a southpaw, we're talking about his left hand, his left cross. Who do you guys think has a superior rear hand? The stiff rear hand.
I like how Benavidez he almost uses his right hand as a jab because he leads with it often, just almost as much as he throws a jab. But for this, I would give the edge to Morrell because I see him getting knockouts with his his straight left. That's more of a tool for him to end the fight. So I guess in that it makes it a little more dangerous. So I would give the edge to that. But I do think Benavidez has a good right hand too because he uses it. I think he has like better utilization of it. But Morrell uses it to end fights.
In the chat, Handful Boxing Review says, I have to give it to Morrell the edge in rear hand. He throws it with more conviction and power. Sometimes Benavidez throws his backhand like a jab, similar to a prime Mayweather.
Oh, were you saying I read that comment before I made my...
Yeah, well, what is the implication here, Bucho?
No, I didn't even fucking have it. Just reading the comment. No, but it's true that that's like a backhand. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I will.
It's because he squares up so much.
But it's more powerful. But it's more powerful than it's like the Mayweather tap, but with much more power.
I mean, we did see.
Well, there's a lot more ass behind it because David got a BBL recently. If y'all noticed.
Okay, yeah. Fucking Sobers was talking about Benavidez. He says he has wide birthing hips. I go, what are you talking about, Sobers? I think Sobers got too much time on his hands analyzing the guy's hip. Come on, Sobers. What's the matter with you? All right, let's. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
Who has the fatter ass, BDA? David or Pigeon?
Who has the fatter, juicier ass? Well, that's a good question right there. Rear hand. I'm going to go with Morrell. I'm going to give him the edge just because he puts a little bit more oomph on it. Although, like we said before, I don't like the fact that he telegraphs it. That's a bad move right there. But anyway, I think it packs more pop. I think it's stiffer and more I don't even know if stiffer is a word. More stiff. All right, let's go to hooks. Who has the superior hooks in this scenario?
I would say David because he throws them a lot more.
David.
I think Morrell's more of a straight puncher. So, I mean, Benavidez, my bad. So I'm talking about Benavidez has better hooks because he throws them more. He's a kind of an inside fighter, so he uses that. He throws them upstairs and downstairs often. And Morrell kind of just throws straight punches. Straight punches like Earl Stevens once, Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Earl
I've seen
Stevens.
Benavidez be more destructive with his hooks. So that probably means he has better hooks or he utilizes them much more efficiently. So I'll go with Benavidez.
Benavidez doesn't telegraph him as much as Morrell. You'll notice Morrell when he's on the outside, especially against the Serbian Cholo, he was jumping in and missing a lot with his shots. Although I do like that there were certain spots where he was smothering Kalashnik and then whacking him with a short left hand. On the other hand, Benavidez, like you guys said, he does get those hooks across more, but he slaps with him. Again, watch that video I did over at BDA Clips. You see him slapping a lot against Gvozdyk. Now, I don't know if that's because he was injured. I mean, that's the excuse, right, that he was injured. But I don't know. So both of you went with Benavidez, right?
I believe so.
All right. So, well, listen, it's a democracy thing here, too, as well. We're going to give hooks to Benavidez. Uppercut. What's that?
I was going to say, maybe he's just doing his best. He was just doing his best Roy Jones Jr. impersonation.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does punch like Roy Jones a little bit, huh? With the slapping a little bit. I mean, that worked against super middleweights. It doesn't seem like it worked against the first light heavyweight he fought. We'll see if it works tomorrow. Guys, what do you think about the uppercut? Who possesses the superior uppercut?
Benavidez. For sure. I mean, just from what I've seen, he's still done much better left uppercut, right uppercut as well. Both of them. Yeah.
Sobers, do you concur?
Rusty Cage says you forgot to add physique.
Yeah, who's got the more muscle-bound?
Oh, yeah.
Who's got the more muscle-bound, ripped, and tight body, man?
Everything tight.
There you go, man.
Everything tight. Everything tight.
I mean, I gotta tell
Who
you.
has the tighter body?
I'm not sure. I like Benavidez's uppercuts because he uses them with the hooks very well. But then I feel like Morrell has more stopping power in his hooks, punch for punch. So, just not to give everything to Benavidez, I'll give this one to Morrell.
Yeah, Benavidez has very good uppercuts. He transitions well. He shifts the weight very well in combinations when he's throwing he'll throw 1-2 left hook, right uppercut, and then switch the weight over to his left, and then boom, come in with a left uppercut. Very good whipping type effect. But I said it. Wow, what'd you see? What?
There's people in the chat. Who's more loose? And then who's more tight? Who has more hair? Whose bulge could you see more?
Okay, come on. What's going on here, man? You see what you guys started, man? Come on, what's the matter with you, man?
We're ending the fucking show. Take it seriously, people.
Why aren't there 69 likes?
Nah, come on. All right, you know what? Yeah, I'm sort of. I don't know. I'm sort of. I got a fogged mind here today, and I don't know what's going on, man. You guys are. I don't know what you guys are going on about.
Every muscle must be tight.
All right, listen. All right, so.
This is getting gay. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
I got gay a long time ago, man. This show went down the rails a long time ago.
Yeah,
but I will say this, man. Who's got the bigger bulge? What does that even matter to me? What the fuck? All right. Okay, I'll say this. I think Morrell's got good uppercut. I don't know. Again, it's difficult to ascertain how good his offense is because he's never fought anybody really good. But even way before when we were last year when we were doing the category rankings where we were ranking who has the best jab in boxing or the best right hand, blah blah blah. Morrell was one of the candidates for uppercuts. So I'm gonna give the edge. I'm gonna edge it to Morrell. And no, I don't want to hear any jokes about edging and gooning or whatever the fuck people call it.
All right.
Fellas, don't forget to hit that like. If you're enjoying the show so far, hit that like. Reverend Pickles says he's fighting a fucking hobbit. I don't know who he's referring to. Mark T says this might become a dogfight. Godzilla versus King Kong. Well, I mean, I asked that question in the last episode numerous times. Who has more dog? And just people didn't take it seriously. So we might revisit it somewhere along this episode. Jump to says, who's more like Zhile Zhang? You know what? That's an interesting question. Did he say Zhile Zhang? I think that's what I heard, right?
Mm-hmm. Here it comes.
I heard Zhile Zhang.
I heard Zhile Zhang too. And now I'm biting my tongue.
I know what's happening.
Not Zhang Zhili. Zhile Zhang.
Zhile Zhang. Chili bang bang. Chili bang bang.
Zhili bang bang. There you go.
All right. Well, this whole thing is freezing, so
I know you wanted to play that fucking that clip, man.
Time so we can find
Horrible
it.
timing.
Dang.
Yeah, horrible timing. What do you want from me?
I will bang you.
I'll play something else, man. All right, that doesn't make any
That
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. How about Kramer going nuts?
You can talk.
Yeah, bring up his clip, VDA.
Yeah, play the whole clip, yeah.
The blacks, the Hispanics, the whites. I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
All right. Let's keep going here. I'll try to find the clip later on. So we said uppercut. We edged it to Morrell. Body work. I think this is easy. But you guys go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think this is David Benavidez all day. He does a lot of body work. He doesn't work on his body, but he works a lot on his opponent's body. So I'll give him the edge on this one.
Interesting. No, yeah, I agree 100% with what Sower said. Body work definitely goes to David Benavidez, the monster. The monster.
The monster. You ever hear the monster? Play the monster. All right, so body work will go to, I agree, Benavidez is one of the best body punchers.
Yeah, I was looking at the weigh-ins, and there's a comments that kept dropping about Benavidez. They're calling him the Mexican muffin.
Nah, come on. Who's doing that? That's what I don't know, man. Who's coming up with that? That's, you know what? If I was Benavidez, I'd be. I know. I'm not a litigious person, but you better believe I'd be contacting my attorney, suing for defamation, breach of contract, and maybe even some sexual harassment. Corner. Who has a superior corner? Let's say Morrell has the Shields. I was going to say Randy Shields. He's got Shields in his corner. I'm forgetting his first name. He's got the Shields who's worked with Holyfield and one of the Charlos and all that. Arizona Lara recently. Benavidez has his father, Jose Benavidez Sr. They've had their ups and downs, by the way. They've had their ups and downs. But then again, it's his father, so there's probably some superior communication going on there in the corner. What do you guys think? Who has a superior corner?
Shit.
It's a difficult one, huh?
Well, I'd say I'll give a small edge to the Benavidez camp just because they recently got a win over Bomac's camp, right? With
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's a Pacheco win.
the Pacheco, yeah.
I was laughing my ass off at the re-listening to that the other day with the fucking Bomac. You recognize goes, he's humble, he's hungry, he's confused. Just anything to learn. I mean, yeah, man. But so you guys are saying, so Sobers is going with Jose, with the Benavidez corner. Bucho, what do you say?
I'll say the same thing just because I haven't really analyzed Morrell's corner. I know more about Benavidez's trainer, so.
Well, I'll say this: Ronnie Shields,
Benavidez.
Shields, who's in Morrell's corner. It seems like he's been forever. He's been around forever. Like I said, he used to be with Holyfield. Like I said, recently he was working with Charlo, one of the Charlos.
Yeah, how good is he with Morrell? That's the question, right? Like
that's what I'm saying.
There's a language barrier.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Shields, like I said, Shields
in a close fight, and then his corner got him out of that situation or something. That's what I'm trying to figure out, but I don't know. I don't have enough information.
Sergeant in the chat says Shields sucks. Oh, come on. Straight Right Hand says Ronnie Shields taking L's lately. Quentin Lasser says Ronnie Shields is way more experienced. Yeah, he's more experienced at losing. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. No,
I'm kidding.
Okay,
yeah, no,
so we might give that to him.
Well, that's not the question, right? Who has the most? The question is with that particular boxer, is it a good duo, right? Teamwork.
Well, I mean, it's not about whether part of it is that, but I mean, like you were saying, if he gets into trouble, let's say Morrell, is Randy Shields going to be able to get him out of it? Is he going to be able to give him proper instructions? Or is he going to be like Bomac, who was telling Steven Nelson last week, you're going to go for it. What are you doing? You got to go for it. It's like, all right, great instructions there, Bomac.
Well, Benavidez is his father. He's on a roll somewhat. I mean, he has that Pacheco win. Shields, I don't know what's been going on lately. I think he's been having, like somebody saying in the chat, losses lately. So
I don't know. I'm going to go with Shields, man. I'd rather have Randy Shields in my corner. because he's more
That
experienced.
might be a good point.
Jose Benavidez
Yes.
Senior. I mean, Jose Benavidez. Rayo left him. He's got Pacheco now, but you can tell Pacheco still has a lot of work to do. I don't know
He
if
still
he's
needs
gonna.
work. Yeah. You know what? I agree with you, BD. I think Ronnie Shields probably has a better boxing mind than Jose. Benavidez. He probably, he got what's it called? He probably struck gold with his kids.
Right.
But it's not necessarily translating with the other guys. You know what I mean? That's why Rayo left, and we see that Pacheco has some holes that he needs to work on, and I've seen him, and I don't think they're really closing up just yet. So,
Question: was Benavidez Senior instrumental in Pacheco defeating that guy? I forgot his name. Nelson. Was he the key factor, or one of the key factors?
Was he the architect? Is what you're saying?
Was he the architect? Exactly.
The archivist.
The roadmap. Whatever.
Well, that's Sober's nickname, by the way, the archivist. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he did get Pacheco's jab on point. That was a good jab from Pacheco that won him the fight. Busted up Steven Stone Cold Nelson. I'm still gonna give the edge to Ronnie Shields, man. Just because he's been around for way longer. He's been associated with some big names. He was in Jermell Charlo's corner. Got him to undisputed. Oh, no, excuse me. He was in Jermall Charlos, the big Charlo. And with Lara, too. And back in the day, I think he used to train Juan Diaz, too. I'm going to give it to Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields, that means Morrell's corner. And there you have it. Let me just take a picture of this real quick for the archives. So, Sobers, I know, is taking a picture of this, too, by the way. But just to have one of my own for my records. There we go. And what are people in the chat saying? Butcher, can you look at the chat, please, while I save this picture?
It seems the handful boxing review says it seems like Pacheco uses his amateur experience more than anything Benavidez brings to the corner. Yeah, he has that amateur experience, but not a lot of professional fights. Wayne BB says Bomac has what? Bomac got an ass in the front. Okay. All right. Straight right hand says Hrgovic, Charlo both lost. Oh yeah. Mark T says Virgil Hunter is the most overrated trainer.
I mean, it's gotta be between.
Lassiter says,
yeah.
I believe the Charlo bros both won their first world titles under Shields.
Interesting.
True.
So at some point, then Jermell went over with Derek James.
When was that though?
I don't know.
But still,
right,
it's true though.
Yeah.
When you say cuts, BD, you're talking about how good their skin holds up?
Oh shit! What the fuck? Yeah. Who's? I don't know why I already decided that. Whose skin holds up under duress?
When was the last time Benavidez got caught?
I haven't really seen him cut. Oh, actually, he got cut against Gosvick. I was gonna say he usually doesn't get lumped up like that, but in his last fight, people were saying that he dominated it. Oh, and Gosvick didn't do nothing to him, but his face. He said he got cut. He broke a rib, and his face was lumped up.
Well, he's got.
I haven't seen that out of Morrell yet.
Yeah, that's true. Butcher, what say ye?
I don't know. Morrell has never been caught or what?
As far as I know.
Yeah. I've never seen him really lumped up or nothing.
Morrell.
He got that mongoloid thick skull skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but all right, people, who do we give the cuts to? Who has a superior skin? Who has the legit?
I'd say Morrell.
Really? Okay, but why? What's the basis for that?
Well, I just said, just going off the last fights. Like I said, David did get cut in his last fight, and he was looking lumped up. Against the 175.
We're back.
Oh, we got to get on the forest, bro. I was just thinking about that yesterday.
Yeah, we got to do it.
Hey, while we're... I think... Sorry, somebody
Yo.
donated the other day, and I forgot to... Well, he was in between shows. Shout out to Rafael Gansa for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, which David has the best performance-enhancing drugs? That's a good question. I mean, Morrell, Benavidez' side is accusing Morrell of not wanting to get tested. Then Benavidez has Memo Heredia in his corner. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, BDA. I wanted to put up an extra category for this fight. Who has better PEDs? The PD edge. Because there's that Senyak Beko. I remember a while ago. I don't know if you remember, but I made like a little ass video. I don't even have it anymore. I deleted it. But I remember sending it to you, and it was Senyak Beko after he got knocked out by Morrell, and he was saying like, "Dude, this was a kind of a crappy fight, and they didn't want to fight outside of Minnesota because this dude has favor here, and there was no testing that I was aware of, and I asked for it, and they told me to fuck off." And I think that's why this dude always fights in Minnesota. I'm using Senyak Beko's words, right?
Right.
He's like, I think that's why he doesn't fight outside of Minnesota, so he can freely use PEDs. And when he went to Riyadh, he didn't get a knockout. He didn't look as explosive as he does usually, right? So it's a little bit of a question there.
Well, we'll get to that after we're done with this, because Memo Heredia has been saying some things on Twitter that make it very interesting here. I will say Handful of Boxing makes a good point. When we're talking about cuts, who cuts more and all that, Benavidez is coming in with a nasty zit on his nose. That thing looks like it's about ready to pop. So I don't know. We could be seeing something splattering all over the people over there. I don't know.
Brian, have a pimple that fucking big on my face since I was a damn teenager. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. All of a sudden, he's losing weight quickly. He's got pimples all over the place. I don't know. It's very suspect. Very suspect indeed. Let's go to cuts, and all right, you guys give it to Morrell. Again, it's a very difficult one to sort of predict here or analyze, because we haven't really seen Morrell take too much punishment, and Benavidez blocks a lot of shots, so it's almost like, well, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? But like I said, we gave it to Morrell. All right, now let's go to. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, here we go. So let's switch on over to the second page. And we're here with, well, I got to clear the board again. And we're going to start off with speed. Who has the faster hands?
I think David Benavidez has faster hands. Like, I think it's
Based on that Porky Medina stoppage, yeah. Now he does overall, yeah.
Well, you know what it is too
Not
about.
by how much though?
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, we can make that distinction, but we gotta give it to one guy.
No, I know. I just want. I mean, I'll give it to Benavidez, but like Quentin in the chat is like slightly. They're just wondering what you guys think.
Slightly, I think he is a lot faster with combination punching. I don't know about punch for punch. Like if you can throw a faster 1-2 than Morrell, but if they're throwing more than 3 or 4 shots, yeah, that Benavidez definitely does it faster.
True.
Yeah, and it's also about the technique of it, which is, do you keep your punches nice and tight? Do you keep them stiff and tight? And that's the thing about Morrell. If you look at Morrell's fight against Galajdic, telegraphing, sitting down on his punches before throwing them, wide punches, that really takes away from your speed. So I'm going to give the edge to Benavidez. There we go. Straight right hand says Benavidez has the faster hands. Morrell has the faster feet. All right. Let me just read a couple more messages here from the Buy Me a Coffee. Shout out to Benjamin, who donated yesterday when we were off the air. But shout out to him. He says, you should consider crypto address. Butcher, are we set up for that? You're the one that takes care of all that stuff.
Yeah, we still have it. We just haven't posted it lately. We have a Bitcoin and Monero.
Is that a wallet or?
No, it's like a QR code that I used to post. I'll start posting it again. If people
Fantastic.
Donate via cryptocurrency.
Shout out to Benjamin and Rafael Garza, and shout out to Rapax Trucking Company for donating today. And he says, I come here for the double entendre. However, he says, I learn about boxing. Well, there you go. See, that's the whole point of this show, that you're entertained, but you're learning a little something. Even if it's just one thing per show, at least you learn a little something. So shout out to Rampax Trucking Company 10-4 BMC, and hopefully he's doing well on the road there. So shout out to everybody who donated. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. I'm going to I see we've only got 62 likes, but since we got some buffering earlier, I'll let it slide. But I will return in a couple of minutes to encourage and demand that everybody hit the like. Let's go to the next category, power. Ooh, interesting. Who hits harder between Benavidez and Morrell?
Benavidez. Fuck. I guess You know what?
You guess.
Benavidez breaks you down, right?
You guess.
God, this is it might be difficult because it's not about who has more stoppages or whatever. It's like one punch knockout power, right? No, one punch knockout power. Who hits harder? Yeah, basically, it's Morrell.
Well,
I think
for me, yeah, punch for punch. If you measured their power on those machines, I think Morrell would
right.
He would have a higher score. I've seen him drop guys and hurt guys with one big punch. David needs that 9-punch uppercut like he did on Porky Medina, you know?
Yeah, which was a long time ago. And but lately, I mean, the stoppages from Benavidez, they come from an accumulation of punches. But I think Morrell hits harder.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Benavidez couldn't put a dent in Gvozdyk. I know they're different opponents, but he couldn't put a dent in Gvozdyk. In fact, as we saw in the last episode, it seems that as if the only guy who got hurt in that fight was Benavidez in the 4th round. Whereas Morrell, even though he looked equally as bad against his first opponent at 175 in the Hot Rod Kalajic, he did manage to stun Kalajic in the middle of the fight. So, yeah, it seems to me, based on what I've seen, punch for punch, Morrell does pack a little bit more of a wallop in his punches. So, the edge goes to Morrell. Ring IQ, which we're talking about, intelligence, intelligence, the ability to adapt, ring generalship. What do you guys think? Who has a superior ring IQ?
For me, from what I've seen, I have to go to experience. I think David's been in there longer and with more opponents, so he knows a little bit more what to do in these situations. We've seen Kalajic kind of give David Morrell problems, and he just kept trying to do the same thing, looking for that straight left, and he couldn't find it. So I think David could switch it up a little bit more.
All right, stop saying David.
David Benavidez.
I don't even know what you're talking. I'm sitting here all confused, going, "Where am I? What's going on? Who am I?" All right, so
my David.
What was it? Yeah, Independence Day. Remember David? What do I tell my mother? But ring IQ would, but that's a different thing from experience. So, Butcher, what do you say about ring IQ? Who has a superior ring IQ in this scenario?
Well, Never brings up a good point. Experience can increase your ring IQ, I guess. And I've seen more. It's difficult because when it comes to Morrell, he only has 11 professional fights, so it's a small sample.
So the hardest fight that I've seen David Morrell in was in that Idos Your Bossy Newly, right? And that's the guy's name, right? The guy he put into a coma.
Oh, okay,
and that was a dog fight. They were going at it the whole to the last round, and I didn't see too much from Morrell. He just kept trying to come at him and just try to take him out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
yeah, brute force.
Yeah,
just
I think
David
has a little bit. I mean, Benavidez has a little bit more finesse when it comes to that, but
yeah, I'll give it to Benavidez.
By the way, somebody made a good point that this fight, that they were like, this is a championship fight. And then they go, Benavidez, WBC interim champion. And then they go, what's his name? Morrell, regular WBA champion. Like, what? How are these guys champions? How are these guys champions? What's going on here, man? They got paper belts. But it's still an interesting fight, that's for sure.
And this is for the WBC Aztec belt.
Oh man, this is okay. By the way, okay. So listen, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right off the bat: ring IQ and experience will both give it to the Benavidez. I think that's I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with that. Foot movement. I mean, that's just another term for footwork. Now, what people might be saying, okay, well, what does it mean? Doesn't necessarily mean who's a more fleet-footed guy, because again, we've seen plenty of fleet-footed guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing. It could be, foot speed, but we're also talking about where does each guy know how to put his feet on the right time. In other words, Benavidez, when he's cutting off the ring, does he know how to cut off the ring with his feet? It's like, oh, this guy's going over here. I'm already anticipating where he's going to go, and I'm going to cut off the escape avenue. Morrell, when he's on the inside and he does those pivots of his. What do you guys like? Do you like Benavidez' pressure with his feet, or do you guys like Morrell's angles, keeping guys turning with that southpaw stance of his?
I thought we gave power to Morrell.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right, there you go. Let's pretend that didn't happen.
We're getting mad in the chat.
BDA is an undercover Benavidez fan, yo.
Yeah, that's right. Huh? I don't know. Do you know what it is? Because I got to go take a latrine break. Maybe that's why I'm losing my mind over here.
Oh, yeah. Well, let us talk about the foot movement and chin.
All right. I'll be right back then.
So foot movement, I don't know if I really like Benavidez' footwork. You know, everyone says the same thing. He squares up a lot so he can hit harder or whatever, but that's just bad technique to me. And you can widen out your stance a little bit without completely squaring up. And I feel like he kind of straight lines his opponents. You know, he does walk them down, but I feel like he comes in a straight line often. He doesn't cut the ring off too much.
Yeah.
And I would say Morrell has more traditional little Cuban, dance moves. He can do a nice little salsa step and shit in the ring. So for that little right there, I'll just give it to Morrell. But we'll really have to see on the night if he can corral Benavidez.
I'll give it to Morrell too. I don't like some of the mistakes that Benavidez makes. Sometimes he crosses his legs. He's squared up. I mean, when you square up, you're stuck.
When he throws punches.
Yeah, it's again when you're squaring up, you're stuck basically. Where are you gonna go?
Someone can push you, and you'll fall down.
They can hit you in the stomach. I don't know. I don't like that shit. It's been effective against certain boxers, especially when they're running around scared. But if Morrell stays in there, man, he doesn't back off. He throws a combination, stays there, and then he gets into exchanges, multiple exchanges, not just one exchange, and then run away. But he actually stands his ground. It's going to be beneficial to his. It's going to be beneficial for Morrell. Squaring up, I don't like that shit, and for that reason, I'll give it to Morrell, just because I don't like that Benavidez style. Man.
I say with the eye test, he has like prettier foot movement,
Well, and remember too that when Benavidez got dropped, his feet were on the same line, which is a big no-no.
Exactly, bro. He didn't get hit hard. He just fucking was so off balance. He walked into a jab and fell.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you know what you're looking at, you know that it's not always the best position to be in when he starts squaring up. And I mean, he gets away with it so far because he's bigger than these guys and they can move him. But you can see some, especially in the Kyron Davis. In the Kyron Davis fight, he was getting squared up. He was he was touching him, and he was falling on his heels because of that squaring up, having his weight on his back foot a little bit. That's not good. So okay, we'll give the edge, slight edge footwork to Morrell. Chin. What do you guys think about the chin? Who can take the better shot, or who can absorb more punishment, or take a big one, take a big wallop without getting moved or getting stunned?
Again, I haven't seen Morrell take too much punishment to really see his chin checked, right? And I don't know how many big punchers that Benavidez has been in the ring with, but he's been dropped, off a jab. So for splitting hairs, I'll just say I haven't seen Morrell dropped off any jabs. So I'll give that little edge to him.
All right. Bucho, what do you think? Bucho? All right. I'll say this, man. When it comes to chin, I agree with with Sobers.
Oh,
sorry,
dude.
hey, BDA. No, but you know what? Yeah, the chin, I have to give it to Benavidez because he has fought some big, strong guys. And other than, Gavril dropped him. Gvozdyk, we saw in the last episode, stunned him. But he came back. I think that's also a good sign of a good chin, is recuperative powers, endurance. Yeah, because people always talk about chin. We should change it for the next time to endurance. Who can endure the most punishment? And so far, Benavidez seems to shake off punches with his guard. Even when he does catch a shot, he just keeps coming and replies right off the bat. I haven't seen that from Morrell. What's that?
He just gives you that Frankenstein smile when you hit him.
That Frankenstein smile? What are you talking about?
You ever seen him when he gets tagged? He'll just start smiling and start waving them in, and he has like that square rectangle head. He's kind of like a Mexican Frankenstein.
Yeah, I've said that before. He does have he's got a blockhead, but to your point, yeah, it's true. I mean, usually when a guy smiles, that means he was hurt. But what I'm saying is he hides it well. So even though I've seen,
gets sexually.
All right, come on. What's going on here?
Yep.
What's going on here?
Like Brandon Rios, you remember he said that? He said he felt like it was coming when he takes shots.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy that type of shit. You know, these guys, they're going too far with it. They're going too far to try to sound tough. Instead, they sound borderline homosexuals. But with Benavidez, Chin, but again, Morrell was getting stopped in his tracks by Hunt Rod's pity pat shot. So I don't know how good his chin is. I'm going to give the edge to Benavidez just because he's the more proven guy. Stamina. Now, this is a tricky one because Morrell has only gone, I think he went 12 rounds against Lennox something. Hold on, let me check.
And your Bossy Newly guy I brought up.
Who's that?
The one he put in a coma? The Russian guy? Well, that might have been 11 rounds. It might have stopped him in the 11th. But it went late.
Yeah, I got to check out the Lennox fight. The Lennox Allen fight. Oh, yeah, the Lennox Allen fight went 12 rounds. In his third professional fight, he fought a 12-rounder. He went the distance and beat the guy convincingly. So he's gone 12 rounds before. You're right, Sobers, when he fought Yerbosnuli, whatever his name was. By the way, he was also hit that guy a lot behind the head. So something that a lot of people have mentioned in the Discord. He stopped him in the 12th round, and then I guess Hunt Rod Kalashnik, he went the full 12. So he's got decent.
Has he gone more 12 rounds than Benavidez?
You know what? That's a fucking good question. Benavidez has gone the distance, although not necessarily 12 rounds. Let's see. We know he went the distance against Plant. He went the distance against Vosdick, so that's 24 rounds right there. Let me just check real quick.
12 full round fights that he's completed.
Yeah, that also, I think that's the only time he's gone the
distance. 2 against Gavril, and then against Plant and Gosdick.
You're right.
So that's 4.
You're right. So he has gone the distance against Gavril in the rematch. That's the one where he showed improved stamina. Because in the first one, it seemed like he was fighting in spots. I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to Benavidez. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, that style that he has.
Especially with Heredia.
Yeah, especially with Heredia. You're right.
He's a volume puncher. He's effective at it, and that requires stamina. So he's been successful so far with that style. So stamina must be good.
You know what's interesting? That when he fought Gavril in the rematch, he threw 700 something punches. When he fought Gvozdyk, he threw about 470, I think. More than 450, I think. Something thereabouts. So it's interesting. It's a bit of a drop in punch output. Of course, Gvozdyk is better than Gavril, even though he's 37. But still, it's interesting to see that he dropped off. And against Gvozdyk late in the fight, he started getting tagged more. The advantage that he had over Gvozdyk, really, that's the reason why he won the fight, was because of his youth advantage. That he was able to keep the fight at a higher pace than Gvozdyk. And even then, he started fading late. So I didn't like how his stamina looked in that fight. But overall, it's looked better across the board than Morrell's. So we're going to give it to Benavidez. All right, mental strength. Benavidez. What do you guys think? Mental strength. Who has more fortitude, a.k.a. more dog? Who's got that dog? Now the big question, the most important question.
Damn.
Well, this one's hard to me, right? Because Benavidez has he doesn't have a mentality just to come forward and try to destroy his opponents, right? He doesn't really back up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, you can say that's a real dog. But then I haven't seen Benavidez in a drag-out war like I've seen Morrell in with that your Bossy Newly fight. I keep bringing that up, but that's the only one where someone really was pushing him.
Yeah, but by the way, when you say that,
see his grit.
You keep saying, it sounds like you're saying my boss Inoue, like your boss Inoue.
No, your Bossy Newly.
Like I work for a Japanese guy or something. Well, all right, well, go ahead.
Let me see. That's how it's spelled, bro.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, I'll take your word.
Like turd. It's one of those names like Turd Sack. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. Shit bike. Yeah.
Yeah, turn second shit back. But their brother is the fighting duo. But I think, yeah, like I haven't really seen Benavidez in a. Well, damn, no, there was that fight with Gavril. You know, he was kind of tested early in his career with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really feel like their Bossinulli fight with those guys were really, really going at it, and he ended his opponent, sent him to the hospital. You know, I've really seen Benavidez do something like that, right? I think this is really close, but just off that performance, like I said, without more body of work to really compare it to, I can kind of give it to Morrell.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But Benavidez has plenty of dog in him. It's not like, it's not there.
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, both guys are willing to go for it. They're very offensive fighters, which I can appreciate in today's era, where a lot of people try to fight like Floyd Mayweather Jr. one punch at a time. You know, it's a sweet science. It's a sweet science. No, it's the boring science. I mean, you can open up with combos a little bit, and Benavidez and Morrell definitely go for it, and that takes a lot of that takes some panache, some wherewithal to do. Bucho, what do you think? Who has more dog? The big question, which might determine who wins, by the way, tomorrow.
Well, first of all, there's a super chat or coffee donation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We'll get to it.
Okay. Because I don't want to answer because I don't know the answer. All
right. Well,
I think
let me.
Benavidez, just from what I've seen in his career, I mentioned it on the last show when he fought Gavril. Benavidez was inexperienced. He was fighting an experienced boxer, and those two fights showed me that this guy has dog, I guess, but also he's a big guy for 168.
He's fighting a little guy. He was fighting a much smaller guy.
Exactly. That has to be taken into account. Yeah, right. To be honest, I can't answer that question because I don't have enough information to determine who has more dog. I haven't seen Benavidez against a guy his own size. His own size, similar to his height, and someone that's heavy and young and not scared.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, to add to Benavidez, when he could not really hurt Gosdick, right? But that didn't deter him from trying to. So he kept throwing his hardest shots that he could. He kept trying to piece him up, even though he couldn't turn this guy's head with any of those shots. So I think that does show, amount of dog. Like, I don't care if you're not showing any hurt. I'm still gonna fucking bite you.
That's a good point.
Like little.
It's a good way of putting it right there. I'm going to have to agree with Sobers. I think Benavidez throughout his career has shown that, even with Caleb Plant, he was respecting Plant's power, but he kept on plugging away until he finally caught him and started having his way with him. Same thing against Gavril. He was tired in the first fight, but he's stuck in there. And like Sobers said, against Gosdick, he could put a dent on him, but that didn't stop him from trying. So I appreciate that. Whereas Morrell, he kept on trying against Glasdick, but that's really it. He's never really been tested. And we can't know how strong a guy is mentally until he's been tested. So whether it's his fault or not, those are the circumstances that he finds himself under, untested. So I'm going to go ahead and give the mental strength, the dog, to Benavidez. He just moves different.
This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
That's right.
I'm moving different. I'm a dog.
He's got that dog.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. So that completes our analysis. Well, actually, let me read what people are saying real quick. The Life and Logic says...
First.
Hold on. Life and Logic says Medina fight was a war. Plant tested Benavidez, he says. Mirage says, face looked fine to me. He isn't drained. Okay, so he's trying to play defense for Benavidez. Surprise, surprise. Rapak says, so far the Cubans from yesteryear have run away from the fire, begging Vides. He calls him begging Vides. He's calling him begging Vides. I haven't seen him doing too much begging. I mean, he did bring up Canelo, which is what he has to do to sell the fight, but I haven't seen him doing too much begging, unless I missed something, but we'll get to that. Naima says, war. Like Marvin Hagler. Yeah, war. Hopefully we see one tomorrow. Life and Logic says, we shall see. Straight Right Hand says, Benavidez is a pressure fighter, so more dog. All right. There you go. Let me just take a picture here real quick of this page for the archives. And then we'll get down to some of the other stuff that we got to talk about. A lot of circus acts in the press conference. that need to be addressed. Also, according to what Sobers just told me, Anthony Kaseichi, how do you pronounce his name? Kaseichi? Who had recently beat Joe Cordina and who was obligated to fight Sugar Nunez, has just posted. Is this real, Sobers? I mean, well, Sobers can't hear me right now, but Sobers posted a message that allegedly coming from Kaseichi, who says, "Today I have decided to vacate my IBF world title. Becoming a champion was an absolute dream. However, at this stage of my career, I only want the biggest fights possible, regardless of the belt on the line. I'm a prize fighter, and my aim now is to secure my family's future and to create a legacy for myself." I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do by fight? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they offered him another fight, a bigger fight. But we'll see, man. I wanted to see that fight. Chitlin Distributor right away says, "Docked Sugar Nunez." I mean, I don't know. Shout out to Jesus Pardo, by the way, for his contribution to the super chat. He says, "I've got Morrell 114, 112, an early knockdown to an irresponsible Benavidez, and then a late, what's he saying? And then a late knockdown to an overzealous Benavidez." You know, that's one way I could see him winning. Because my gut goes with Benavidez, which is a sensible, safe prediction. But I could see Morrell pulling it off the way Garcia pulled it off against Haney. So that's an interesting prediction right there. I could definitely see that happening. So let me just write it down. Jesus Pardo says Morrell 114, 112. 2 knockdowns for the Cuban. There you go. Well, there you go. So shout out to Jesus Pardo for his contribution via the Buy Me a Coffee app. And fellas, don't forget to hit the like. I think we're at that time where we got to insist that people hit that like. We're at 73 likes. You know what? I'm not even going to ask for much. I'm going to ask for 7 likes. Just 7 likes, get us to 80, and we should be golden. All right? We should be golden. And then later on, it'll get to 100. But for the moment, 7 likes. That's all we need. And we'll stay here for a little while longer. Here's what I wanted to talk about. The undercard. Bucho, they kept, during the undercard, Jimmy Lennon keeps saying, "All right, we want to remind people to buy the stacked card that we have here. We've got a lineup of champions, blah, 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 prices." You know, he goes with the price for this stacked card. I go, wait a minute. Within 20 seconds, he had to say stacked card. Is this a conscious effort of trying to tell people, "Hey, look, we're buying you stacked Don King-esque cards," because they know they're competing with the Sheik, whose cards really are phenomenal and nobody's doing them better. What do you think is going through their minds?
I don't know. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is still probably taking a shower after having lied like that, feeling dirty, lying to the people. This is not a stacked card. This is not. Isaac Cruz is not a superstar. We talked this about yesterday off the air. How I think you mentioned it. How they're trying. The PBC is trying to portray Isaac Cruz as a superstar. Why would he even be a superstar? And first of all, and he's coming off a loss, not against Teofimo Lopez or against a big name, against El Rayo.
What's wrong with Rayo? Hold on, man. Don't shit on Rayo.
No, he's not a superstar yet. He's not an elite boxer yet. He's not at the top of the division. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not shitting on Rayo. I think Rayo. I mean, we'll see where he goes. No.
What are you talking about?
So I'll cook it up. Your BFF. You didn't see that comment in the chat?
No, what happened?
No.
So someone in the chat saying name the boxing scientist said my life never black puto.
That's not the real boxing scientist. Come on, man. that's not the real, especially the picture that they're using. Come on, man. Someone's trying.
Known as TBS.
Someone's trying to create dissent. Or like they say in The Sopranos, someone's trying to create dysentery. Now, you know what's interesting? I think this all happened, this little brouhaha, this little snafu happened because not enough people hit the like. I think that's what happened. I'm certainly not suggesting that I purposefully orchestrated this little snafu to encourage people to hit the like, but you just never know. What else was I going to say about this? I went a whole
little rant, BDA, about Pitbull Cruz and this shit cut off.
Yeah, I know, man. Can you reharness the energy to put another one forth? Or?
All right. I'm channeling. Okay, why do the Americans like Pitbull Cruz? Okay, it's to uplift their own fighters, right? So he lost to Gervonta Davis. He gave him a hard fight. Some people think he beat Davis, right? But so So I see Americans, they'll like Mexicans who lose to their fighters, right? So they'll big up Pitbull Cruz because like look how tough he is. Look what a hard fight he gave to him, and look how many guys he's beating. But he's not better than our guy. Look, if you think he's good, look how good the guy is who beat him. Our boy. So I think they do that to Mexicans. They try to feed them to Americans to make the Americans look better. And then if they do well enough that they can survive, then they'll try to, build their little star to either raise their fighter or to set up a rematch later on, right? And Pitbull Cruz has a stereotypical Mexican, stereotypical, right? Not saying typical, stereotypical Mexican style and look. He looks like an Inca. You can see on the screen right there. That's not Bucho. That's Pitbull Cruz. But he has that stereotypical Mexican style where, he's kind of flat-footed. He comes forward. He's tough. He's little as fuck. He has power. And he just wants to grind you out. So I think that's why they try to big up him. You know what I mean? They like that stereotypical look so they can compliment it and shit on it and be above it at the same time.
That is a very succinct and poignant, I must say, analysis of the situation, because it's true. Isaac Cruz, we've said it before, he's being buttered up by the PBC. You get the Charlo brothers hanging out with him. Oh, we're big fans of you. That's what Heyman told him to do. Like, hey, listen, to put this guy, to get him to lower his guard, go out there and befriend him. It's like the guy that's going to get raped in prison. They go befriend the guy, like, oh, yeah, you're tough, man. You're part of the gang. And then before you know it, he's in the closet. I got to tell you.
You see that picture of Charlo, like, hugging up on him, too, right? Where he attacks someone he's drunk. He's like, I love this dude.
I mean, yeah, we can see through it. I don't like it. And you're right. When people say Mexican style, they're always trying to use that as a derogatory term. But in Isaac Cruz's case, it's true. He doesn't feint. Doesn't really. I mean, sometimes he'll change levels and then jump in with uppercuts. With hooks. But there's not a lot of feints. You saw what happened against Valenzuela. He got outboxed. Valenzuela did a much better job than Tank Davis did. And that really is telling of Davis's level, that he struggled so mightily against Isaac Cruz. And then his fans go, well, he hurt his hand. He had a broken hand. First of all, he didn't have a broken hand. Second of all, if you watch that Isaac Cruz Tank Davis fight, which I have on a number of times, that Davis was clinching from the first round on. A lot of. He
had a broken hymen. That's what happened.
He had a broken what?
Hymen. His cherry got popped.
Come on. I mean, if you would have told me he had a cracked taint or something, okay, I can go with it. But he had a that you scared people.
He had an anal tear. He had an anal fissure from
all right, yeah, Sobers, man, you're going overboard today, man. But I'm saying, see, people come up with that excuse and they just repeat it. He had a broken hand. Where did you see that? Because he told you that he had a hurt hand. Because he showed you a photo of his hand swollen. Yeah, we just saw Shakur Stevenson recently over at the Pacheco fight. He had a swollen hand. That doesn't mean it's broken. I mean, people just come up with something and then they repeat it. Just like this whole thing about Canelo. I don't know if you saw this guy on the news. Reynoso said, hey, I'm working with, we have another fighter who's working with Heyman, just like Canelo. We're working with Heyman right now. Somebody took that and they turned it into Canelo will be with Heyman for the rest of his career. And people are now repeating it on Twitter. And I go, man, they don't even speak Spanish. So they didn't understand what Reynoso said. So that's just the way it works nowadays on social media. What do they say? What's the saying? That the truth comes later after the lie? Or after the lie already turned around the world? Something like that. Some journalistic or journalism saying from back in the day. And it's true. The lie already traveled halfway across the world. Now the answer is catching up, but nobody really gives a shit. So it is what it is. But so back to this undercard, this stacked card. So you got Isaac Cruz against Fierro. Not really an interesting fight. Jesus Mono Ramos against the guy who's basically half retired in Jason Rosario. Looked horrible in a draw against the equally shot Jared Hurd. And then what's the other one? Figueroa against Fulton, who, by the way, Fulton apparently had to, people forget about this. They had the weigh-in a couple of hours ago, but that was a ceremonial weigh-in that you were seeing. They'd already weighed in the morning. And apparently Fulton had to weigh in twice to make the weight. He looked horrible in his last fight. The first fight against Figueroa, it went down to the wire. So if he's compromising this fight, how's he going to keep Figueroa off of him? I don't know. It's just, and here's the other thing is, when you pay for a fight, it's because you want guys to be at their best. Fulton and Figueroa have only fought once per year since their 2021 meeting. So each guy only fought once in 2022, once in 2023, once in 2024. These guys are not at their best. They're rusty. They're inactive. And I'm supposed to pay for that on pay-per-view? Come on. I will say I'm interested in the Curiel fight, the Argentinian guy. He's fighting a Mexican who's very active. He will bring it. So I'm very interested in that fight. But yeah, man, this whole thing about this stacked card. I mean, you can stack shit too. That doesn't mean it's a good card. So this term stacked, like again, it's not synonymous with good or solid. So it's solid. It is solid. But for $80, I reiterate, no siree Bob. Marian G says, what? Mexican style is a derogatory term? How the hell is that a thing? God bless the U.S. Yeah, because when people say, like when, I'll give you an example. When Keith Thurman said, oh, Tim Tszyu, he fights in the Mexican style, he was saying it's derogatory. He was meaning, oh, that guy's one-dimensional. He only comes forward swinging, flat-footed. That's what they always say about the Mexican style, that it's flat-footed guys who just come swinging. No technique, no defense, or nothing. Same thing with Regis Prograis. When he said, oh, I'm going to fight Devin Haney, but I'm going to fight him aggressively, but I'm going to fight him smart, not Mexican style. It's like, what? I tell you who did fight like in Mexican style, Jojo Diaz. And he gave Haney a much better fight than Prograis did. So this whole thing about, Mexican style, that's why we came up with the term ass style, the American slick style, because just like they say Mexican style is crap, they're taking the worst examples of what the Mexican style is. We're taking the worst examples of what the American style is, and we're using that as the ass style, the American slick style. One punch at a time, running 30 seconds at a clip without throwing a shot, then pot shotting, clinching, shaking the ass, needing the referee's help. That's what the ass style encapsulates. What else we got here? Oh, yes, don't forget to hit the like, of course. Don't forget to hit the like. Did you guys have anything to say about the undercard? Sobers, Bucho?
Okay, I will say this about the undercard. I feel like, people are shitting on it, right? Because it is $80. It's expensive. I'm still going to watch it. I'm excited for it. I'm not going to lose $80 over it.
Wait a minute.
I'm saying someone else is going to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
I'm watching somebody else's house, you do. But
sure.
But I've been wanting that Figueroa Fulton rematch for a minute, and I do think that Figueroa beat him in that first fight, right? And I do think he hurts Fulton a couple times. And Fulton okay. We only have one fight of Fulton at 126, and right. I think like two of Figueroa at 126. And I think Fulton he's regressed after that loss to Inoue. I don't think he won his last fight. And I think he looks kind of puffy at the weight class, like not in his best shape. And I think Figueroa looks better at 126 than he did at 122. I think he's better hydrated. His hand speed is faster. He has better punch output. He just looks healthier in the ring. When I saw him fight at 122, he looked slow. He looked almost exactly like his brother Omar, and I hated how his brother fights. Now he looks like a better version of himself, and I think he's doing better. So I think he will look a lot better in the rematch, and he'll win by knockout.
Whoa. Okay, so I'll say this, because people are saying, somebody in the chat said, Parokua says Fulton stole the fight from Figueroa. I mean, it was a very close fight. I do believe I saw that fight a number of times prior to the Inoue fight, and I thought Fulton edged it. I'm not going to argue if somebody thought Figueroa should have won it, but it was a close fight. However, the thing that we were talking about yesterday on the Discord off the air was Fulton. One of the things that sealed the deal for me in picking Inoue over Fulton was not just that Inoue was more skilled, but people couldn't comprehend that. They couldn't comprehend the Japanese fighter being more skilled than the American guy. It was also the punch resistance from Fulton, or lack thereof. You will watch a lot of Fulton fights, and you will note him being a little bit fragile. He got hurt by Angelo Leo. He got hurt by Figueroa to the body. I forget which round. Adam Lopez hurt him badly early in both of their guys' careers, back when they were undefeated. They fought on the PBC, and Adam Lopez, who's not a big puncher, by the way, hurt him badly, like I said. There was the other dude there. He wasn't Mongolian. He looked Asian. I forget his name. He managed to stun Fulton a little bit. Then we got the stoppage to Inoue, which people might say, yeah, man, there's no shame to losing to Inoue by stoppage. But when you look at a guy like the Palace or Neri, they took their licks and finally they got worn down. That stoppage against Fulton came out of nowhere. I mean, against Inu, excuse me, because he was jab, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 1-2, and it just shook his whole world. And then his last fight, Fulton's last fight, he gets dropped as well. So I don't know where his punch resistance is at. I've seen it before, though. I've seen guys sort of look bad, and then all of a sudden they have a renaissance. But you know what? Usually that renaissance comes when these guys stay active. He hasn't been active. That's my whole point. He's been fighting once per year since that Figueroa fight. Once against Daniel Roman in 2022, once against Inu in 2023, and then once last year. That's not good. It's not good at all. So I'm very interested to see
and
how.
Then you got to look at the competition, right? This guy Fulton fought Castro. We never heard of him, and he almost lost to him. And then you got Brandon Figueroa beating up Jesse Magdaleno, stopping him, and beating Mark Maxayo, who's also he's a decent fighter.
Yeah, the Maxayo win was superior to the Magdaleno. Magdaleno, I don't know how much he had left either, but I mean, it's a question of styles too. We know Fulton can fight on the inside. That's how he fought Figueroa in the first fight. He fought on the inside. Same thing as Angelo Leo. But it takes stamina and it takes endurance to do that. And the big question then is, does he have any of those things at the level that he had them when he beat Figueroa back in 20? Again, Sobers, I was telling this to Bucho. Think about 2021 when they fought. You realize that they fought on the same night as Cambosos Lopez? Think about how many things have changed since then. That was damn near 4 years ago. They're not the same. Fulton's not the same guy, or at least hasn't looked like the same guy. Whereas Figueroa has looked, even though he's been as inactive as Fulton, at least he seems like the same type of fighter that he was in 2021.
I think he's improved, personally.
Mm-hmm.
He even has a different style now. He has that little wispy mustache. He's trying to look more like a man now instead of like a porcelain doll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. What I was trying to get at, though, is that I think from an intensity level, physical level, he looks about the same. He can still, he still has that engine. He still puts on pressure. Whereas Fulton, it seems, he didn't look all that hot against Castro in his last fight. So we'll see what happens. One thing that I did want to touch on here was in regards to yesterday's press conference. Well, not yesterday's. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, Thursday's press conference, the final press conference. So we've got David Benavidez with his promoter, Samson Lukowicz, and we have David Morrell with his promoter, what's his name? The Cubas, Luis de Cubas. Both guys look like creeps. I don't trust them. I'd be afraid to be in the same room with them. And I mean, the Cubas was doing a lot of jawing. First of all, the Cubas sort of looks a little bit like, you remember in Boogie Nights, the Colonel? Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Show me.
Yeah, I think it's better if I show people. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. Hey, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Baron Uvola says, I'm leaning towards Figueroa in this, partly on a hunch that Fulton may have been even more hesitant because of Inoue. Absolutely. That's the other thing, is he might not be as confident as he was in his chin back in 2021, where he was willing to trade with these guys. Now, maybe not so eager. Because again, it's a psychological thing. Psychological issue. If he doesn't feel like he can take those shots, he's probably not going to take them. All right, so Luis de Cubas right there. He's Morrell's promoter with those thick rim glasses, those serial killer glasses from the 1970s. I've seen this guy around before, by the way.
Those are my glasses.
What's that?
I wear glasses like that.
Come on. No, you don't. So he looks like the Colonel from Boogie Nights. Remember? Hey, nice to meet you. Jack says you got a nice big
cock. To bang Marky Mark or something?
Yeah, he wanted to bang. He was worried. He was a chomo in the movie. And I'm not saying that that's what Luis de Cuba is, but he looks like the Colonel.
But he looks like one.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So the reason why I bring him up is because, remember, they had that little brouhaha a couple of months ago when they were doing the public workout, right? I want to replay the public workout because I want to break it down about this guy, Luis de Cubas, how much of a weirdo he is. So remember, let me play this here. So they had that this public workout. I don't know why they had the guys there at the same time. Look at Morrell's head, by the way. People tell me, oh no, his head looks bigger because it looks bigger because of the haircut. Bullshit. Block that right now. Do that. use your thumb over the screen and place it over Morrell's hair, and you will conclude that his head is still much bigger than Benavidez's. Look at that. It's a big old noggin.
Yeah. That's why, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to bring up that PED stat because this guy very obviously has an HGH cranium.
I mean, what
you
else
see
would
the
it
same
be?
thing in guys like the Charlo brothers. They say the same thing. Pacquiao, he'd have that big ass hair, all that loose hair to hide his giant head. He looks like a Joe Rogan, bro. That's a Joe Rogan head.
Yeah. Remember Joe Rogan used to have the hair plugs. When he started going bald, he got the hair plugs because he had to hide that fucking big ass Easter Island head of his. And it's the same thing here with Morrell. And the Charlos, remember when Jermell Charlo was going to fight Castaño the second time and he got postponed? And then in the press conference, he goes, thank you, Brian Castaño, for postponing the fight. That way you're going to make me bigger, stronger, faster. I go, what? You don't get stronger and faster just because you got more months to train. You know, these guys, they hit a peak, an impasse at some point. You can't get any faster or stronger unless he was indicating that he was talking about you know what I mean? Because like Jimmy said, over there in Texas, he's got it on good authority that Ronnie Shields gym or whatever they are there in Houston, Texas, because I know Jermell was with Derek James, but they still train in Texas, and who knows what they got down there. That's what Jimmy was saying. He said it was PED Central over there in Texas. So
well, yeah. I was gonna say in Texas, on the border, there's a lot of easily attained steroids right in Mexico. So I heard from a couple people, RIP Rapid, that it's very easy for steroids to get across the border. You know what I'm saying, to people. So guys in Texas, they're actually on a lot of juice, on a lot of sauce. So. Yeah, there's just a couple of things that that point towards this thing. There's the giant head, and someone in the chat said what's HGH? It's human growth hormone, right? So it'll make you go through puberty, it'll make you just bigger, it'll make you stronger, it'll make your head bigger. That's one of the side effects, right? Besides just the muscle growth, it makes everything in your body bigger, your bones, etc.
Yeah,
so there's that, and then there's him not wanting to fight outside of Minnesota. They're just, and then there's this affiliation with Ronnie Shields, who also already had some other suspicious looking characters in his camp. We're going to say, well, yeah, those are just 3 points, right? But for me, I just feel like that I'm gathering data and it's just pointing towards something like that.
There's this Asian reporter. She was doing an interview with Morrell the other day. Look at him. She's standing next to David Morrell there. I mean, you can tell that's a big ass head. Come on. Hey, by the way, you mentioned RIP Rapid. I mean, okay, so now is that a joke, or are you now on the bandwagon that Rapid really is gone?
I mean, everyone keeps saying that shit, so I'm just leaning in with it. So
yeah, man, because I mean, this August is gonna be 2 years since he's been gone. Because he was in August, right? August 2023. That's the last stream he did. Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
And
man.
I don't want to say the dude's real name, right? So. Let's just say Julio Marquez. You know what I'm saying? Rapid might be dead, but Julio Marquez is still alive and he's just living his life. So that's why I'll say RP Rapid.
I see. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so this video here with Luis de Cubas, who's Morrell's promoter. Check this out. So. You know what's coming here. He pushes him, right? And look at the guy immediately tries to get to Benavidez. See that? First of all, his mouth, he's got a camel mouth. You ever see camels? They always got the mouth to one side.
Yeah, they do that whole motion where they go from the right ear to the left ear. How they chew their mouth.
Yeah, he actually does look at him. He's chewing on something. He's chewing on hay or something. Look at that. Then he tries to get at. You see there, Royce Gracie separating them. And you see he tries to get at Benavidez. And you see, Sobers, he does this tricky thing where he doesn't really want to get close to Benavidez. So what he'll do is he'll stay behind Royce Gracie and he keeps pushing Royce Gracie onto Benavidez. Look at that. See? He pushes him, because he doesn't really want to get at him. I mean, think about it. Sobers, if you wanted to get at Benavidez, you would try to go like here, for example. You would go around him, right?
Yeah, and Morrell himself is hiding behind him and he throws something at him. That's kind of funny too.
Yeah, by the way, that belt thing, do you think that was going too far though? Actually throwing a solid object at Benavidez or?
Well, I mean, it's what happens, right? The emotion gets high. There's a lot of emotions in this fight, but by the off chance, like say he did land, it landed on him in an awkward way and it cut his eye. You know, you could kiss that paycheck and the fight goodbye. So, you know, you got to be a little bit smarter. You know, like when Caleb Plant and Canelo got into it, Canelo cut him with his own glasses. That could have canceled. That could have stopped the fight right there.
That's true. Very unprofessional. Yeah, right. And yeah, but that's what Benavidez said. He said, "Look, that was unprofessional what you did, throwing a bell. You could have hit somebody. Somebody could have caught the shrapnel. Some free fall from that. And by the way, so check this out. So the Cubas now starts pushing the guy, right? Now he gets distracted here, but now Royce Gracie gets pulled over to the other side. So now Benavidez, he's wide open to Benavidez, and check out what he realizes that Benavidez, there's no one between them anymore. Look at this. Look at it. See how he turns around? He goes, "Oh shit!" Let me replay that. So
whoa, yeah. He's almost like trying to throw people in front of him. Now, when David's actually coming at him, he's like, "Oh shit! What are you?"
Yeah, look at that.
He even turns his shoulder like he's gonna get hit. He's like, "Oh." He's scared now. He's like, wait, let's talk about this, bro.
That's the point. That's where that reaction right there, that's him shitting his pants.
That's the real, yeah. That's the real him right there. He's like, look, man, be professional. Don't do anything crazy.
Now he's saying that. Hey, be professional, my friend. Be professional. Oh man, what a guy, man. And then he starts, see that, whoa. See that? He said, whoa. He realized, holy shit, there's nobody in between us anymore.
Now gaping. He's like, ah.
He's doing the Mike Tyson. But what did he think he was going to do?
Now he's backing up. He's terrified. Play that whole part, BDA, because he just started backtracking big time. After jumping in front of everyone, he's like, whoa, guys, let's talk about this. When all of David, look at all of David's camp now. He's like, holy shit.
Let's use her words. Yeah, let's use her words, guys. Come on. It was just a prank, bro. It was just a prank.
Because right here, he's smiling, BDA. Look right here, he's smiling. And then go back to where he was at a second ago. He's not.
Yeah, so there he's smiling.
Smiling no more.
Now it's just a prank, bro. It was just a prank. Look at him. But why did he?
We got a fight on Saturday, guys. Relax.
Yeah, don't screw up the paycheck. What did he think he was gonna do? Again, he's a middle-aged guy, out of shape, and he's really, look at him, like he's gonna do something. Oh shit! There's no one between. That's when it reminds me when I was a kid and in Mexico, there's stray dogs all over the place, and you see a stray dog behind a fence, and you start taunting it. Then you look to your left, all the way to the left, and you see that there's actually a door and it's open, and you go, oh shit, and then you run away. That's what this reminds me of. He was poking the dog, and the dog could actually get through the fence, and now he's, look at it, whoa, take it easy. But that's not it. That's not the only part. For anybody that missed the press conference yesterday, this dude started going at it with David Benavidez.
What a way to start. What a way to start. Let's move on to take over the snow. Everybody be here. To our fighters who want, I wanted to put.
By the way, the press conference, other than that, this party was boring. They got to introduce everybody. They got to introduce the guy who owns the venue. They got to introduce the guy who works the hot dog stand. They got to work the guy who scalps the tickets. I mean, everybody has to have their say. It's going to be a great fight on a stacked card. Everything's stacked over there.
I'd like to thank, first of all, Tom Brown. I'd like to thank PBC, Amazon, and for this great fight to happen. I want to thank this guy here for taking the shot. Okay, a lot of guys
taking the shot. Then you'll notice when he was doing that interview with a Cuban guy on YouTube. Now he's got the Cuban accent. But meanwhile, here all of a sudden he's got. I really distrust people who can switch back and forth between accents like that. I really do, man. I think there's something. Like you listen to me speaking English, you can tell I got an accent. And then when I speak Spanish, I don't exaggerate. I don't go with the norteño accent. Like, ¿qué está pasando? ¿Quién me está llamando? I don't do that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like people who like lean into their accents too much. Like you're almost playing a caricature of a person of what you think someone's supposed to sound like, or like something you saw on TV. Just be yourself, man.
You know, I was telling that to Bucho. Okay, I'll play you a clip of what I'm talking about, and then we'll keep going. But first, I want to give a shout out to Rapax Trucking Company. Shout out to Rapax Trucking Company 10-4, who says, with Morrell's noggin, you can open a taco shop and make a lot of barbacoa de cabeza, cachete y lengua. Yeah, man, that's a big ass head. That's a goat's head right there. If he finds himself in Papua New Guinea or whatever they had the cannibal headhunters, he better watch out, man. Because they're going to look at him, they're going to go, ooh, we can make a meal out of that.
We can use that shit for weeks.
Exactly, yeah. They can dry the meat, cut it in strips. But shout out to Rapax Trucking Company. But, okay, so let's watch this, and then we'll get... Well, actually, before we get to the whole accent, this one. Again, this dude, like I was saying, look at how he talks. He speaks in English, but you'll notice when he speaks Spanish, and I don't have any clips of him speaking Spanish, but...
Guys won't take it anymore. He had the balls to step up, which I got to give him.
He sounds like he's from down south or something. He's got the balls, he's got the balls to make the fight. We made the fight. We offered him a contract. Then when he's speaking Spanish, like in Cuba, mis hermanos cubanos, everybody love Cuba. I don't know. I don't trust him. And I'll give you another example. This went viral on TikTok a while back, and I can see why. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I got the clips here. Somebody read the comments while I look for what I'm talking about here.
The comments?
Bucho, can you do it?
They're saying Windy City's gay, little man, big ego, Napoleon complex, y'all.
Is Bucho there, by the way?
BDA isn't even Mexican. He doesn't know Mexican Roscas had a baby Jesus inside. Oh.
Well, I wasn't going to say the name Jesus. I mean, see, that's the thing. Though. He's like, oh, you got to say, well, I'm going to say in vain. I almost said it right there. See, you almost got me. I'm not going to say, I've always called it El Mono. Because he doesn't even look like the baby, again, I don't have to say the name. Because it's blasphemy to say his name.
They're saying BDA Chilango.
Yeah, you sound like, what was that accent? That wasn't even norteño. The fuck?
Yeah, you're right. That was a chilango. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, norteño. Conda compa.
The Cubas has a baby pee-pee. This is good stuff.
Why do people got to bring up his cock, man? Come on. See, that's what happens always. People always got to make fun of another person's cock on this channel. I don't like that. Keep reading them comments. I'm almost here. All right, so
I don't have anything intelligent to say. I'm just here for emotional support. Thanks, Grim Reaper.
Well, there you go.
No,
hey, man.
They said that's a Oaxaqueño accent. Little baby nuts.
Oh, I got something to say about that, by the way, later on.
We got another donation.
Can you read it, please? Buy me some time because I'm trying to look for the clip.
I can't read that one.
We got a coffee donation from Greg Terrible. He says, wasn't the Cubas Canelo's original promoter, All-Star Boxing, but Canelo jumped ship to go. Hold on. But Canelo jumped ship to Golden Boy and both got sued and they won.
Huh.
Was Canelo with the Cubas before?
Ooh, I don't know if that's news to me.
Must have been ages ago. Of course. I'll look into that. I didn't know.
Chinchilla says, I just tuned in. The fighter's Cox wasn't on my bingo card.
Well, yeah, that's it. We're gonna come.
BDA is originally from.
We gotta
Oaxaca.
print. We gotta print.
Chiapas, right?
I'm not from Chiapas. What are you talking about? But people are gonna start making out to be like I'm actually Guatemalan or something. They're gonna. It keeps getting lower and lower.
Check it out. They're saying Bucho is a French guy and BDA is a Black Canadian. They just want the Mexican fan base.
Imagine.
I'm Haitian. That's what it's gonna turn into, man. At some point, I'm a Haitian woman.
Yeah, he's a Haitian. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fuck. All right, Bucho, can you send me the clip? You know which clip I'm talking about, man. English to Spanish, Spanish to English.
Puro Michoacán a la verga, güey. That's right. That's right.
Oh, you know what you're talking about. Shit.
Because I gotta emphasize, there's something about guys like the Cubas who, when they speak Spanish, like Sober said, they're really hamming it up, leaning into it. As he said, And then when they speak English, they're like, well, one thing that I enjoy about, the process of managing boxers. Like, wait, that's not how you talk in Spanish. So what's going on here? There's a disconnect, and I don't like it. And you'll see what I'm talking about here when I can find these clips. I'm curious, by the way, who is going to buy this fight? I'm asking the people in the chat, by the way.
I posted a poll, and most people said Most people said no, they're not buying it.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh yeah, the general consensus is that no one's buying this.
Yeah, that's on the BDA poll that I posted.
All right,
Jonathan Lamborghini is saying, "Open up the lines. I got shit to say."
All right, yeah, we'll open up the lines. Let me just play something here real quick. I'm gonna have to do it on the fly here. I don't have the original clip that somebody posted on TikTok.
Oh, I got the clip.
Well, where is it?
Slack.
Well, I'm waiting for it.
It's sending.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to say is, by the way, Soberstar, are you going to be doing a live stream, like not a live stream, but like a get together for that fight on your Discord, or?
I mean, we're definitely going to be watching it. You know what I'm saying, together. I'm gonna try to do a live stream, but I don't know if I'll be able to. But we're definitely gonna be doing the usual thing. You know what I'm saying? Come to the Discord. If you can't find a way to watch the fight, I'm sure someone in the Discord can point you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, it just means somebody can
exactly
suggest.
What I said. I'm sure someone there.
No. Yeah, it's a suggestion. They can make suggestions.
Someone can post a link. Yeah, where places you can go, perhaps to watch it, possibly, maybe.
By the way, they got Jim Lampley working.
We encourage everybody to buy the pay-per-view, payperview.com if you live in Canada.
Absolutely.
No stealing. We don't endorse criminality.
Of course not. Pay-per-view, you buy it.
All right, shout out to Bucho for sending me the clip here. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. When people speak English in a certain way where they're really hamming up the English accent, like you can't, they're trying to pretend like they're not from a fucking island. They just got off the banana boat. And then when they speak Spanish and they really lay into it. This is Benicio del Toro, actor extraordinaire. Listen to how he speaks English and then how he speaks Spanish, all right? All right, that's not it. Hold on a sec.
Even though you haven't shot it, so you do have to plot it out a little bit. And some of that plotting out can go out the window.
Yo estaba haciendo una película que se llama Wackiest y yo le pido a el viejo mío, que en paz descanse, vivía al lado del hermano de Raymond. Y yo digo, oye, llámate a Raymond a ver si puedes pedirle la camisa al equipo de Puerto Rico para ponérmela.
Entonces,
No, that's not recognized. But you see how he
speaks.
Recognized.
That's how he sounds. That's how he probably sounds like if he speaks Spanish.
but listen to how he speaks English, and he's trying. He's in the first clip. He's talking about acting. By the way, he's talking about how whether they improvise or not, do they plot out where they're gonna be, stuff like that. So he's really trying to ham it up, being pretentious. Like, well, you got to plot it out a little bit. Like, listen again.
Even though you haven't shot it, so you do have to plot it out a little bit.
You almost sound British right there. That was weird.
You think so? No, I don't think he sounds. Well, what there was that accent.
Play the beginning. He sounds like Eddie Hearn for a second.
Even though you haven't shot it, so you do have to plot it out a little bit.
Well, yeah, when he says a little bit, it sounds like he's using the throat more. A little bit. A bit. Oi. No, that's actually something else. But yeah, then
and some of that plotting out can go out the window.
Yo estaba haciendo
The window.
Una película
que
se llama Wackiest y yo le pido a el viejo mío, que en paz descanse, vivía al lado del hermano de Raymond. Y yo digo, oye, llámate a Raymond a ver si puedes pedirle la camisa al equipo de Puerto Rico para ponérmela.
Listen to that. When he's speaking English, when he's speaking English, he's going, well, you got to plot it out a little bit. And then when he's speaking Spanish, he's constricting the throat. Entonces yo le digo que me dé la camisa para ponérmela. Dame la camisa, háblale a Raymond para que me ponga la camisa para ponérmela. It's like, come on, man. You don't speak like
he's a
Raymond. What's that?
He's a thespian, you know?
Yeah, but see, he's going from 0 to 100. It's almost, listen to me say it in Spanish. Like, le llamé a Raymond para que me dé la camisa para ponérmela. Right? Para que me ponga la camisa, la camisa está buena. And now let me do it with his accent.
The chat,
que me dé la camisa para
number 23 says, what the fuck? That's him. I'm never seeing him the same again.
I'm telling you. And by the way, initially I thought it was from a sketch or something. Because you see the first clip, and I don't even know why we keep playing this, but it's just I'm fascinated by this. He looks like a completely different guy. Look at his haircut, look at his mannerisms, and then look at him here. It looks like he was like I don't know how many people here watch Latin television, but that looks like what they do in the Dominican Republic, in Venezuela, and Puerto Rico. They have these sketches where they have these like 60-year-olds dressed up like school children. Or one of the big sketches is always like the crazy, wacky newscaster. That's how he looks like. The wacky newscaster with a cheap hairpiece. That actually looks like a toupee that he's wearing, by the way. It doesn't look like his real hair, and the mustache. La camisa pa ponérmela. Outrageous. And that's what Luis de Cuba's, that's the vibes that he gives me. Fake accent, fake everything. Shout out to Greg Terrible, by the way, for his contribution with the super chat. He says, wasn't the Cuba... Oh, yeah, you already read that. Excuse me. Yeah, but shout out to him anyway. Shout out to him for... Yeah, I don't know if the Cubas... Did you look it up or...
No, I didn't look. I'm going to look it up later.
Okay, well, give me the answer so para que me la pueda poner para ponérmela. Butcher just stays silent. I think he's had enough of me doing that accent.
We need to talk. We need to talk to Raymond. Raymond.
All right. Okay. So let's go back then to yesterday's press conference. And again, this is Luis de Cuba's. Now he's all of a sudden he's got his corporate English accent to distract people from the fact he came off the banana boat. And check him out. He starts going after Benavidez.
Credit for.
Got some big balls.
Yeah, we're gonna find. I want to thank this guy here for taking the shot. Okay, a lot of guys won't take it anymore.
Taking the shot. He sounds like Sting from WCW. It's a big shot that I'm getting the WCW championship.
He had the balls to step up, which I gotta give him credit for.
Got some big balls.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find that out on Saturday night. I want to find out if you got a chin. That's what I gotta find out. If you got a chin.
I mean, come on, you're talking about balls and Benavidez. You know, Sobers, you made an excellent point.
Why is he getting into it like that?
I mean, well, that's what I was getting at. Benavidez, Sobers made an interesting point a couple of episodes ago. He says, Benavidez, well, I don't know if Sobers wants to, tell us, you remember what you said, Sobers, about Benavidez? The type of energy he brings? Like he's still a little kid at heart. Remember that? Well, I'll say it for Sobers then. Sobers made a salient point. He says, Benavidez used to be a fatso when he was a kid. He was the big fat kid. His brother was the one that everyone was expecting big things from. He was in shape. He was a good amateur. So they were casting him aside. It's like, when they would show up to the gym, they would go, hey, Jose, Junior, how you doing? Hey, man, you ready for the Golden Gloves? Then they would look at David and they go, oh, here's the Twinkie. Go sit down. You know what I mean? They used to put him in the sidelines. So he had a lot to prove.
Hey, kid, here's a sandwich. Get out of here.
Yeah. He's a three-quarter of a cake. Go in and enjoy yourself. Let us work.
Here's a pound cake, fat ass.
Here's half a rotisserie chicken. Go nuts while we work out. And the interesting thing is, so that's what you were saying, Sobers, that he still has that sort of that chip on his shoulder, right? A bag of chips on his shoulders. Anyway, that was Sobers' point. I thought he was going to keep going with that, but let's keep playing this clip.
I think I started lagging out.
That's fine.
What happened with Gallegos? What happened with Gallegos?
Gallegos?
¿Qué pasó?
He beat the shit out of him every day. Ask him.
Okay, yeah, he mentioned Gallegos, which is another boxer that supposedly the rumor is that Gallegos beat up Morrell in sparring. He knocked him out, I think, in sparring. So now Luis de Cuba.
Is Gallegos the one working with Jose Benavidez, or is it the one that Pacheco knocked out and recently beat Khalil Cole last year? Which one?
I think, well, you know what? I have to check the record, but he definitely knocked out that dude you talked about. It was on the zone, right? Wasn't it on the zone?
Khalil Cole. So you're talking about Manuel Gallegos?
I think so.
Okay, then Pacheco knocked him out.
Huh. Manuel Gallegos. You got to say it with the accent. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Manuel Gallegos.
Manuel Gallego.
Manuel Gallego, pa ponérmela. All right, so...
El mama huevo, Gallego.
Listen, we don't worry about sparring partners. And listen, let me tell you something. All I'm going to tell you guys, if you can hold this guy's punch...
Do you notice he's got that annoying thing at the end of every word? Shh. It's like the whistling thing. We don't worry about sparring partners.
Don't worry about sparring partners. And listen,
see, you hear that? Sparring partners.
He gets like a chick tooth and shit.
He beat the shit out of him every day. Ask him about his eye. Listen, we don't worry about sparring partners. And listen, let me tell you something. All I'm going to tell you guys, if you can hold this guy's punching power, okay, for 12 rounds, I don't know anything about boxing. Okay? This guy's going to knock you out. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you.
Mr. Pelalaika says now he's a hick. He turned into a redneck. All of a sudden, he turns into a.
Morrell is going to take you out.
The old man whistle.
That's exactly what it is.
You a new asshole.
That's exactly what it is. It's the old man whistle. All of a sudden, he turns into old Pappy. Well, this old Pappy from the South. With the fucking racist undertones, every other phrase.
You guys are the ones who started. You guys are the ones who started.
So who's taking more money out of David Morrell's check? You guys.
By the way, that dude, you see the guy with the velvet jacket or whatever?
Mr. Pelavaca says he changed his accents like Shadow Man.
Exactly. Today's Mexican, tomorrow he's British, next week he's Irish.
Imagine the Cuba
Australian.
Imagine the Cuba starts going at it with Benavidez, and all of a sudden he starts doing the shadow band thing. Like, he starts losing it, man. That's the way he starts talking Dracula. That's when you know he's possessed or something.
That's probably what he was doing, BDA, when Benavidez in the camp started walking up on him. We saw his mouth open. He was probably speaking. He was probably trying to hold them off, like. Yeah. That's why they all stopped. Like, what the fuck?
Remember in Blade that they used to speak? They had Dracula language or something. Yeah. Hey, did you end up seeing Nosferatu? By the way,
not yet. I'm gonna.
He does a good accent. Put your conveniences on the floor. It's like a very deep voice that he. I don't know if they touched it up in post production to make it deeper, but it was a good accent. Anyway, I wanted to say.
So Usyk's acting debut turned out pretty well.
Absolutely, man. Better acting skills than most of the other boxers I've ever seen on screen, on the silver screen.
Is he better than Roy Jones Jr. though?
Yeah.
His performance in The Matrix was pretty solid. He had like 2 lines.
He was just playing himself in The Matrix.
Yeah.
He was just standing around.
Himself out of the Matrix. He broke free.
Yeah. Yeah. He shoe-shined his way out of the Matrix. Yeah, you're right.
They try to indoctrinate me. They try to plug me back in, but I'm too fast.
They must have forgot. Oh, I am the Matrix. Yeah, I am the Matrix. I wanted to say that really point out real quick that dude with the velvet jacket, the announcer or the MC, there's 2 guys. They had the similar haircut. That's why people were confusing them. You know, there's the guy, and then there's the one who's got the, how do you say in English? Lunar. The mole. He's got the mole. You know which one guy I'm talking about, right? He's horrible at commentating, but he'll usually be the MC as well. He's got a more of a yeah.
The guy with the comb over, he kind of has like a baby face.
Exactly, and he's horrible when it comes to commentating. I'm sorry, he's a good MC, but when he's commentating, he's too biased. Like he'll just start talking about what the A side is doing well.
He's one of those Mexican cucks. He's like a Mexican PBC. You know what I mean?
Well, listen. Some people are mean and cruel, and they were on Twitter. They were saying that he looked like a lesbian. I said, "Come on, there's no need to be going that far, man." I mean, Ray Flores,
kind of.
Come on, man, come on. Okay, so Ray Flores, that's the guy, right? Ray Flores, PBC. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's the other people. So people were saying, did this dude get
another
plastics?
one too? There's another guy too, BD. I don't know if you've seen him. I think he works for Golden Boy.
So how many of these?
No, you go. I'll tell you after. Go ahead.
Are they just cloning them or something? Because they kind of look. You're right, man. They all look like they have the same phenotype.
There's another one who looks like him, BDA, but he looks like he's more downsy. And I make a joke that like the only thing this guy can do is read the lines that they prompt him to read on the cards, and then he starts drooling immediately afterwards.
Come on.
And they have to drag him off stage.
Come on. No, but people were confusing this guy with the guy here with the velvet jacket, and people were saying, did he get plastic surgery or something? He looks completely. No, it's not the same guy. They have the same Mexican kid first day at kindergarten haircut. but they're not the same guy. It's two. and this guy, by the way, I remember Gonzalo pointed out. I forget which PBC fight he was doing the Grand Arrivals for. Oh, I think it was Tank Davis, Frank Martin, and Tank Davis wouldn't show up. He was like half an hour late. So this guy, for a good 20 minutes straight, was rambling nonstop in that announcer voice. He wasn't just talking like, hey, we got a great fight. No. He was in announcing voice for 20 minutes straight. Okay, so we want to remind you that we are going to be having the main event tomorrow starting at 8:30. It's a great main event. I must say so myself. Quite the main event. And he just rambled for 20 minutes with that voice. It was impressive. I take my hat off to the guy for his ability to do that, to maintain that tone, that range for 20 minutes. Just
do you think that without the announcing voice, he sounds like Benicio del Toro when he speaks Spanish?
That's what he was saying. Let's keep playing this clip here.
You're taking more money than Morrell is. You're taking more money than Morrell is. Who's taking the big cut out of this check? Not after I will take your check. Make more money.
Did you hear that? He said, you're making more money off Morrell. And the guy didn't deny it. He goes, well, not after tomorrow night. It's like, wow, aren't you supposed to say bullshit or something?
Yeah. That's what's that called? He's like admitting guilt without really doing it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like saying like when not Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, there was a little clip of him saying, they're saying I was fighting like a bitch against De Los Santos, but so was he. It's like you don't know that you did it, but everyone's accusing you of.
I was like guys in prison, they were calling me that the F word, they were calling me a queer, but hey, it's like they were
he sucked me. I'm not gay, he is.
Yeah, he was licking my balls. He was licking my balls. I was like, what? I only asked him to tickle my balls. I didn't ask him to put it in his mouth. Like, what? What are you talking about, man? They're admitting their guilt. Listen to this again.
Who's taking more money out of David Morrell's check? You or anybody else? You're taking more money than Morrell is. You're taking more money than Morrell is. Who's taking the big cut out of this check? Not after I will take your check. Make more money.
Not after Saturday night, he said. It's like, man, what a guy.
No, I'm talking.
He's like, yeah, I'm robbing his ass. I got him living in a shack while I'm living in a mansion. But yeah, so what?
I'm talking about you're making more money than Morrell.
I'm making more money than Morrell. Yeah. He knows what he's making.
Yeah.
He's moving out of my guest house next week. Now what?
Hey, I got him living in my house. Sure, he has to do a couple of chores. Has to clean the toilet. He has to unclog the toilet every time I use it. But hey, so what? Come Saturday night, he's going to be making more.
I'm exposing this guy. Not fucking up.
Worry about him, not about me.
You're nervous.
Indentured servitude. No. What are you talking about?
Slavery? What are you talking about? I don't got him working in the fields. What are you talking about?
Right. I don't use him escaping Cuba to my advantage and threaten him with it. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't have him working in my sugar plantation, my private sugar plantation, where there's no cameras allowed. I only make him work
there. Neither is Luis Ortiz.
With that
I don't have Arislandi Lara there. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's got a full working camp there, like fucking Jonestown. He's got them all trapped. He drugs them. He drugs them to keep them. He sedates them like animals so that they don't rebel.
What's that little drink that the Cubans drink? It's like mint and something. What is it called? What's the drink called?
I don't know, man. Bucho would probably know. He's always drinking.
It's easy to make. There's like sugar and mint, and there's something else in it.
Bucho, you know what he's talking about?
It's an alcoholic drink.
Bucho, do you know what he's talking about?
Is it the native drink that gives you energy?
Mojitos.
The Cuban drink.
I'm saying he drugs their mojitos. And he gets them to work for him.
Let's listen to what this good old boy from the South has to say. Keep saying to Morrell here. To Benavidez.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, you guys are nervous.
I've been in this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
You're in the fucking scared.
So the guy,
I thought this was really funny.
I've been in this rodeo for 40 fucking years, buddy. See, he's not Cuban. Come on. Which Cuban calls another person buddy?
You're nervous.
A Canadian?
Oh, wait a minute. What? Yeah, with the Canadian accent, eh?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I'm not your buddy, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, you guys are nervous.
I've been in this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
I've been exploiting Cubans for 40 years. That's what he said.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth. You're in the fucking scary over there, motherfucker.
Keep your
I
saliva.
like how Benavidez is telling him, keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
And I bet you, because the guy's probably nervous being on the podium. He's been talking a lot. Probably hasn't been drinking a lot of water. I bet you he's spitting that foamy, that white substance that gets forms on the sides of your lips.
The corner of your mouth, when you're really dry, you're really dehydrated, you get that little accumulation of white shit. In the corner
that's what he's spitting.
Yeah.
That's what he's spitting.
That's what's flying off his lips.
Exactly. That's extra. That's extra disgusting, if you ask me. Spit, okay, you can just wash it off. This foamy type substance, that's disgusting, man.
What are we talking about?
Especially from an old man.
It's viscous.
King Chaos is spitting rabies.
It's what?
That's rabies, yeah. The guy's a rabbit. Yeah, the guy's a rabbit. the guy's rabbit.
Wayne in the chest is like the camel. Like the camel he is.
Oh man, people are.
Might as well just spit one.
Imagine he takes a big old while Benavidez is talking, he takes a big old sip of water and just spit.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chisora against Klitschko.
Oh yeah, like Chisora did. Yeah. Or that clip of Hector Camacho. I'm gonna try to find it later. When Camacho and Sugar Ray Leonard were going at it back in 90s.
He's spitting facts. Hurricane.
That's how facts come out.
You have to be.
You're nervous. We're nervous. You guys are nervous. Yeah, you guys are nervous.
I've been in this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
You're in the fucking scary
over there, motherfucker.
You can see you're all scared, man. I can see in your eyes.
That shit's funny.
Now Benavidez has AIDS.
Oh man. Yeah, he's gonna making weight. He's not gonna have trouble making weight anytime soon, right? After that, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But look at the Cubas. How I was telling that to Nightmare yesterday. Look at how wide open he opens his mouth when he talks. Exaggerate. It reminds me of a dog. When dogs shows you the teeth, it could be construed as aggression, especially start showing gums. That's what this guy does. Every time he talks, he's showing he's really opening up that jaw. I don't know if it's to get more spit out or because he's just an unhinged character. Look at him.
I'm fucking. I'm exposing his gun.
Look, he's about to bite.
Okay. You're nervous. You're nervous. You guys are nervous. Yeah, you guys are nervous.
I've been in this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking
mouth. I've been in this racket for 40 years.
Yeah. I've been in this moonshine. Yeah, he's true. He thinks he's a hillbilly. I've been in this moonshine racket for 45 years.
I've been doing more hold downs.
I've been at more first hold down. Yeah. I've been at more midnight rambles that you can count, buddy boy. He used to be at the midnight ramble. Oh man, this guy's a piece of work, man.
You're in the fucking scary over there, motherfucker. You can see.
Look at how he emphasizes fuck. You're scared, you fuck.
You're taking more money than Morrell is. You're taking more money than Morrell is. Who's taking the big cut out of his check?
Not after the I see it in your eyes, bro. I have Roberto Duran. I know when a guy's scared. You're scared, man.
Yeah, you guys.
You guys think he was a little bit like drunk or something before, like, because what type of behavior is
on something?
Why
is he talking?
Was it?
No. He's talking as if he's the one who's gonna fight.
Exactly.
You're nervous. You're nervous. You guys are nervous. Yeah, you guys are nervous.
I've been in this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
You're in the fucking scary
over there, motherfucker.
You can see you're all scared, man.
Mr. Velasquez says in the chat, BDA, get the Cubas for one of your porns. Can you imagine?
I mean, he looks like the
mouth wide open, and then he's
he looks like the type of guy that used to fund the 1970s movies. That's for sure. He's the type of guy that suggested we make the transition from film to video to save money. Jay in the chat says, I want to hear him do a Yiddish accent now. Yeah, he's gonna, you know what? I think the guy
used to put on an Irish accent or something. Dude.
Yeah. Imagine he shows up the next press conference, he shows up in blackface. And everyone just gasps in horror, and the guy's standing there smiling in blackface.
He has like multiple personality disorder. He's like that character from that movie, the Psycho, who has what's that movie?
Yeah, Splint or what was it? Splint? No, what was Split? Right? Who am I gonna be today? Yeah. Wayne says he sounds like he's from King of the Hill. I tell you what, my goodness gracious, this guy's a piece of work, man. Let me tell you.
He's a super spreader.
Oh man, bug chasers are after him.
I see it in your eyes, bro. I have scared, man.
Yeah, you're in your fucking mouth.
You're in the fucking scared, motherfucker. You can see you're all scared, man.
You can see you're all scared, man. He sounds like Ronnie the limo driver. He actually does look a little bit like he looks a little bit like Ronnie the limo driver. He sounds like him too. You remember the guy from Howard Stern? Look at how when he says, "Yeah, fuck."
In this fucking rodeo for 42 years.
Keep your fucking saliva in your fucking mouth, buddy. Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
You're in the fucking scared, motherfucker. You can see you're all scared, man. I can see your eyes.
Scared.
I see it in your eyes, bro. I have Roberto Duran. I know when a guy's scared. You're scared, man.
Yeah, you guys.
I can see it in your eyes.
You guys are scared. You guys are scared. Fucking cocksucker.
Did you hear how?
He's scary fuck, you know, he's like an ace. That's what people saying.
He's scary, yeah. You're right, he's scary fuck. Buddy Lee, who just came in late, who says, "Who's the old guy?" Who's the old fuck? Oh man. This guy, and listen to how
he's patient. He's patient zero.
Everybody's still laughing at the super spreader in the chat.
I think that's gotta be the line of the day, man. Super spreader.
Oh yeah.
But listen to how
his fucking nickname, man.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's his new nickname from now on here at the Boxing Debate Arena. Super spreader. And then look at what Benavidez says afterwards.
I gotta give
Kubis. Who's taking more money out of David?
Worry about him, not about me.
You're nervous. You're nervous. You guys are
I'm nervous. Buddy.
Keep your saliva in your fucking mouth.
Oh,
I see it in your eyes, bro. I have Roberto Duran. I know when a guy's scared. You're scared, man.
Yeah, you guys.
I can see it in your eyes.
You guys are scared. You guys are scared. Fucking cocksucker.
Did you hear how he said that? Fucking cocksucker. It reminds me a little bit. That's why I had this clip queued up here.
Go ahead and kill me, you cocksucker.
He said it with kind of the same intonation. You cocksucker.
You guys are scared. Fucking cocksucker.
I mean, this was a circus, man. I liked it.
We'll play the Carlitos Way again. No?
I got fucking diapers. I shit my pants every day. I can't walk. I can't hump. You know? Go ahead and kill me, you cocksucker. Go ahead and kill me, you cocksucker. You cocksucker. Cocksucker. Cocksucker.
I mean, I think maybe that's where he got it from.
I can see it in your eyes.
You guys are scared. You guys are scared. Fucking cocksucker.
I don't know why it's hilarious to me, Benavidez and this old fuck super spreader going at it for like 15 minutes straight. That was gold, man. I think, you know what? I'm going to buy the fight now, just based off of this. Because, I mean, so many press conferences have, what's the word I'm looking for here? Manufactured conflict and all that. This one, you could tell, both guys, they're all unhinged. They're all borderline nuts. They get under each other's skin. I think this was real, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
And we need
a close fight, I guess. They see it as a close fight. They actually, you know, the winner, what happens with the winner? The winner gets a fight against the winner of Benavidez, against Bivol and Beterbiev.
Well,
so a shot at the light heavyweight title, the lineal title.
That's, you know what?
And the loser's going to be a hype job. I think, you know, it's going to be very bad for the loser. They're going to look like a little bit like hype jobs, you know?
It's not entirely accurate, though. I gotta tell you why.
Yeah, man, Benavidez, come on. Benavidez isn't supposed to lose against a guy with 11 pro fights. He's the monster. He's a monster.
The monster.
And when it comes to Morrell, he only has 11 professional fights, and people have been saying, well, this guy's not ready. This guy maybe not the real deal. Then imagine he gets destroyed by Benavidez, and we were right. This guy, he's not even that good. 11 pro fights.
Well, the reason why I said what you're saying might not, I misspoke. I shouldn't have said it's inaccurate. I should have said might not come to fruition because I don't know if you've heard Benavidez talking recently and the Sheik as well. They're saying, well, if we can get Benavidez to fight Beterbiev, the Beterbiev-Bivol winner, we could ship him up to cruiserweight and fight Zurdo Ramirez.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. I thought it was a rumor.
Well, I mean, listen.
No, they said it. They said it.
Yeah, so, okay.
Benavidez said it in an interview.
Well, that's the thing about Benavidez, and I hate to have to bring up the red-haired one, but he keeps saying, I'm done with Canelo, and then all throughout fight week, he keeps bringing up Canelo. So it's the same thing here. He's saying he wants to fight the winner of Beterbiev-Bivol, but just because he says that doesn't mean he's going to fight him. Now, converse, at the same time, just because he says or they're talking about him fighting Zurdo doesn't necessarily mean they're going to fight him. But I don't know, man. Does he really want to tango with Beterbiev or Bivol right now after how he looked against Vosdik? Maybe he beats up Morrell tomorrow and it gives him confidence. I don't know, but that's the reason why I wanted to bring that up, Butcher, because I don't think that the winner of this fight necessarily fights the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. Remains to be seen.
Well, maybe they see Gilberto Ramirez as an easier target because he already lost to Bivol.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way they're looking at it. Whereas Beterbiev,
I don't know, at a different weight class. I don't know. Zurdo's shown himself at cruiserweight, so he can win fights. He can grind.
Well, that's why it's going to be interesting to see that the fight tomorrow between Benavidez and Morrell, because it's two guys who are thereabouts the same physicality or the same physical dimensions, I should say, and it should let us know whether that's it. That's the cap. Because Jim Lampley, and I really like Jim Lampley, one of the last, for lack of a better term, one of the last professional broadcasters. He was on the 3 knockdown rule, and he was reiterating what he said a number of times earlier, which is that he believes Benavidez could compete at heavyweight. And I'm thinking, come on, I mean, we've been through this before. I remember when Ricardo Mayorga, if we got to go back 20 years, when Mayorga stopped Forrest and then beat him in the rematch, I remember people saying, wow, the only guy who's going to be able to stop him is Hopkins over at middleweight. De La Hoya won't be able to beat him. Trinidad won't be able to beat him. Mosley can beat him, which is ironic because all those guys ended up beating him. But it was the same thing. Not that long ago, people were thinking Lomachenko could go up all the way to welterweight and beat guys. And then when he starts, looking human against Linares and other guys, all of a sudden people realize, no, that's the cap. Lightweight, his limit. Same thing with Benavidez. Yeah, he was looking dominant against super middleweights, and that gave people the idea that he could go up all the way to heavyweight. Trust me, the way he's punching at light heavyweight, I sincerely doubt he even makes it at cruiserweight. So that's why I'm interested in finding him fight Morrell tomorrow, because he's fighting a guy his same size. They're about the same age. It's going to be interesting to see how those dimensions fare off against one another. What else? Oh yeah, there was some Tank Davis news. Supposedly, Espinoza, the Weasel, coming out and saying that, oh yeah, Tank Davis is ready now to fight Shakur Stevenson, and who else did he mention? Somebody else. And I mean, I don't know. It's do we really want to take this guy at his word? Especially when they're saying Tank Davis is going to retire. See, that's what I hate, when they're saying one thing one week and then changing it the next. I'm not interested in taking any of what they say seriously. So that's what they were saying there with Tank Davis. And then recently...
well, they're always lying with him.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, it's people, people... I don't understand people...
It's like when he said that he had a bigger contract than Floyd Mayweather and with more money. Now he's talking about retiring this year. Like, these fools can't even keep track of their own lives.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to maintain this moratorium on Tank Davis talk. No more Tank Davis talk until he fights somebody decent or somebody that we're eager to watch him fight. And one last thing here. Shakur Stevenson apparently was talking about how great the Turkey Alashiki is for forcing guys to fight each other. And apparently, I don't know if this is Photoshop or not, but he says, Turkey makes you drop nuts.
No, that's from a short.
Right,
and it's weird that he's saying that, because it's like, you think you're dropping your nuts fight is against Floyd Schofield?
Well, Well, he probably thinks it's the other way around, that they're making Schofield fight. Something. You know how he probably thinks. He's like, oh, everyone's avoiding me. So that Turkey's making fighters drop their nuts. But it sounds weird, drop nuts. I mean, maybe because I'm from a different generation, but this whole thing of, let your nuts hang.
Maybe he meant drop your nuts in his palm. That's what he meant.
Or on his forehead, right? I don't know. Maybe that's what the Sheik gets up to.
Exactly.
Right. The Turkey Al Sheik busts nuts in my face. Like, what? This whole thing of let your nuts hang. When people say that, let your nuts hang, or when they look at a fight and they go, oh, that guy's nice. I go, what? Well, where'd you get that lingo from? Which penitentiary did you get that lingo from? That guy's tight. Like, what? Can we get back to regular parlance? Soft parlance or I don't know, regular parlance is what I'm saying. They may think everything gay. The quack says, dangle your dice. Yeah. Jay says, I'd rather say strap your nuts on. I mean, yeah, man, what is this? It's like, I don't know, pucker up. That's another one. Pucker up what? Shout out to Julio, Real Food TV says, that guy is tight for sure. Comes from prison. It's gotta, right? Same thing with the sagging pants and the kissing other men on the mouth like the rappers do. Or the 2000 era rappers. I mean, come on. Handsome Mechanic says, BDA, back in 2002, it was Amárate un huevo. Well, at least here in California. Amárate or, yeah. I think I heard that. But not here in Canada, obviously. All right, well, listen. We went over the 2-hour mark. I'm happy with the way the episode went. Not so happy with the gay jokes. We gotta try to keep that to an appropriate minimum next time. But hey, listen, the comparative analysis went well. We did it in under an hour, and the rest of the other hour was just talking about everything else. So shout out to Sobers for joining us. Shout out to Bucho here. I was gonna say Gonzalo. Did we miss anything? Let me check the coffee thing here. All right, shout out to everybody who donated via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who was here listening and who hit the like, by the way. Hit the like. Subscribe if you had to do so already. Shout out to Life and Logic, Mark T, Wayne88, Eparokua, The Quacks, Quinn Lassiter, Ratbacks Drunken Company 10-4 says they need to learn how to speak English. Well, that would help, of course. Yeah, you know what? That's right. That's true. That's the first step. Shout out to Straight Right Hand, Mr. Pelavacas, Jonathan Kidder, Jump Tube, Off the Ropes, Boxing and MMA. I think I mentioned the Quacks, HJ92, shout out to him. Who else? Bucho was in there as well, keeping things in order, keeping things nice and tidy. Skullkid 25, Hurricane Hank. If I forgot anybody, fellas, because we got to go, but shout out to you for joining us. Try to be back tomorrow with a countdown show, and it will be an open panel show since we didn't have one today. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And I'm not guaranteeing anything because I don't know how things go. Sometimes, you get your ups and downs. But if something dramatic happens in the main event, perhaps a late night show, an overnight show would be in order. I don't know. Stay tuned for that. We'll see. So shout out again to everybody that donated, that buy me a coffee, everybody that hit the like, everybody that listened to us. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Always appreciate your listenership and your viewership. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. And we'll try to be back as soon as possible. Stay tuned for tomorrow's fights. Check out Sober's Discord in case you want to do a watch along with him and with the rest of the people. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget to check out
the second channel. Subscribe to the second channel. Link in the chat.
That's right. BDA Clips. Go check it out. And the Patreon as well, where we're putting I did like a 30-minute video with Gonzalo, just watching a number of fights as it pertains to the Benavidez Morrell fight. So if you want more of Gonzalo's insight, which we didn't get today, by the way, but if you want the Gonz's insight, check out the Patreon. The videos are up there for free, and check them out.